So when we're using the drawing API to actually draw things to our canvas element, we actually have the ability to transform the drawing commands before we actually do them. So in this example, I have my canvas and I've set a fill style to blue, a stroke style to black, and set the line width to 10. So let's say that I wanted to actually draw a stroked rectangle, but I actually want to translate it first. And translation means I'm essentially moving where I'm going to start drawing. So I can call the translate method on my context and essentially move the paintbrush to a specific location, where I'm going to move it to 400 on the X and 100 on the Y. Now I can also rotate the canvas, or how I'm actually going to draw into the canvas, by calling the rotate method. So ctx.rotate. And to this, I actually pass in a value in radians. So again, I can't use degrees here. So I'm going to say math.pi divided by 4. And this is essentially going to rotate how I'm going to draw into the canvas. So any elements that are actually on the canvas already are not going to be affected by this. It's any new elements that I'm going to draw into the canvas. So what I'm going to do is create a rectangle. So I'll call the fillRect method, and I'll put it at 50, 50, and we'll make it 200 by 200. And I'll copy that and also use it to stroke this rectangle. So I'll use the same values, but call stroke rect. Now go over to Chrome, and we can see I've drawn that rectangle, but a couple of things you'll notice that it started drawing it not up in the upper left. It's because I translated where I was going to draw, and then I also rotated before I started drawing. So if I come back now, I'm going to start another set of drawing commands, and now I'm going to scale it down. So I'm going to call the scale method, so ctx.scale, and then we give it two values, the scale x and the scale y. Well, I'm going to do 0.5, 0.5. This actually expects normalized values, so a value of 1 would be full scale. So it's important to note again that when I call the scale method, it's not scaling down anything that's currently on the canvas. It's only scaling down any future drawing calls that I make now. So now let's say I want to change the fill style. I'm going to change it to, let's do yellow this time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also rotate it again. So I'm going to do ctx.rotate, and this time we'll do math.pi divided by 6 just to get some variety. And I'm just going to copy these two lines here where I did the fill rect and the stroke rect calls. I'm going to make those same calls down below. And you'll notice the difference now is that things are going to be scaled down by half. They're going to be filled with yellow, and they're going to be rotated to a different rotation than the first one. So if we go over now and I refresh, we can see now I've used those same drawing commands, but it's now being affected by the scale transform and also the rotate transform. So now another interesting thing we can do is to save our drawing states. So here where I'm actually setting up how things are going to draw with my fill style, stroke style, line width, and also my transforms, let's say I wanted to save that state. All I have to do down below is say ctx.save. And that's essentially pushing this set of drawing styles and transforms onto a stack so that I can use it later. So after I've saved this drawing style, I'm now using it to fill and stroke this rectangle. And now I'm actually changing the drawing styles here by setting a new fill style, setting a scale and rotate transform. But let's say now I actually want to get back to this initial drawing state. All I have to do down below is to say ctx.restore. And that's essentially going to pop these drawing state commands off the stack so that I get back to this set. So let's say I do it again down here. And if I jump back and refresh, we have 3 layers, but I've gone back to that original drawing state that I originally created. And again, you can save multiple drawing states onto this stack and pop them off by calling the restore method. So that's how you go about transforming and saving your drawing states in HTML5 canvas.